All right, we're here in studio with Colorado's best attorney. That's Phil Harding with Harding & Associates. Phil, we're talking about something interesting today. Could you just take it away right now? Expert witnesses.
Expert witnesses. So if you've ever watched TV trials, if you've been a juror or been in a trial, there are two different types of witnesses. There's a lay witness and an expert witness. And we're going to talk about expert witnesses, and they can range all the way from like your treating providers. Let's say you're in a car accident, your doctors would come in and testify. Or if you're in a car accident, maybe an engineer. I've had a brake technician testify. I once had this one case where someone was claiming that their crops were being stolen in the middle of the night. So we had to get, video.
I think I heard about this.
This is a weird case.
This definitely is.
We got like some NOAA experts to testify about different things. Expert witnesses, it's very interesting.
No kidding. And it could be just about anybody, as mentioned there.
Yep, let's talk about how an expert witness is defined under, it's called CRE, which is the Colorado Rules of Evidence. 702, and it says a witness qualified as an expert by knowledge, skill, expertise, training, or education may testify in the form of an opinion. That's where it's really important. So a lay witness, right? Let's say it's your friend, you're in a car wreck, right? Your spouse comes in and can tell how much you hurt or what they saw. So they can't give any opinions. Expert witnesses can give opinions. For example, your doctor can come in and say, I think you're going to need this much treatment in the future. Again, that's an opinion. Or the engineer, this is how I think the accident took place. You have to make sure you get the right expert. I once had this really crazy case. Bicyclist. He's hit by a car. Immediately afterwards, they do a CT, they do an MRI, shows nothing. But he has all the symptoms of a brain injury. So I send him to this, you've heard of radiologist, right?
Yes, of course.
A neuro radiologist. And so he does what's known as a 3T MRI. You know, MRIs have different magnets, and a 3T is the strongest one. I'm going to show you some of the images from this 3T MRI.
Let's see it.
And so before regular, it's maybe hard to see, but you're going to see these little lesions, these little dots.
Right.
And what happens when there's a brain injury, your neurons get ripped, and it's called coupe-contra-coupe shearing. So before the MRI CT showed nothing, I get this neuroradiologist. Guess where I got him from?
Where?
Vegas. He's the guy that tells boxers when they have to stop boxing. Who knows more about brain injuries?
There you go.
Right? So I got him. You got to get the right experts. And now let's talk kind of about, there's two different types of experts.
Okay.
There's what's known as a retained and a non-retained expert. So a non-retained expert is your treating provider, your doctor coming in and testifying. And so they don't have to give as much qualifications to be an expert versus a retained. And a retained is really a hired gun. Like this guy, the neuroradiologist, he didn't normally treat my guy, so he was considered a retained expert, and I had to give him, all this additional information, and he had to come in front of the court and show, it's called a CV, funny way of saying a resume.
Sure.
Stands for a curriculum vitae. All the times that he's testified in the past 10 years and all of that, so.
Okay. Wealth of knowledge, Phil Harding is. And wealth of knowledge, I mean, that's why people call you, right?
Yeah, I want to talk about one other thing. So engineers, a lot of times, if there's an accident, you have there's a black box in your car. 95% chance. And it's called an EDR, stands for Event Data Recorder. It's like 20 pages. Let's look at, this is just one page from an EDR. Now, if you look down here, do you see where it says -5? That's 5 seconds before the event, all the way up to the event. Now let me show you this. You see this top line, if you look down there, that's the engine RPM. So it's idling, and then all of a sudden, at 3 seconds before, the engine starts revving up. So the guy takes his foot off of the brake, and as you can see right here, this shows the brake line. He lets go of the brake at that point and steps on the accelerator there. It shows you how fast you're going. It talks about airbags. Did an airbag deploy?
Right.
Did you have seatbelts on? I'm telling you, if you get in an accident and there's a question about liability, pull the EDR. Super easy. Get an engineer. But look at this data. I mean, you can see where they took off the foot off the accelerator, how fast the car was going. It talks about how many G's were going.
And it goes on and on and on, right?
It's amazing.
There
Great
you go.
Stuff.
Tips, tricks, knowledge right here. Phil Harding, thank you so much for coming in studio. We always appreciate that. Reach out to Harding & Associates directly. Call 303-762-9500. You can get a free consultation at any point. You can also find Phil online at hlaw.com. We want to say thank you again to Phil for coming on in studio today and sponsoring this segment. We'll be right back.